On behalf of Tuck Admissions, I'm here with our Executive Director of Career Services, Stephen Pidgeon, to talk about career opportunities at Tuck. I'd like to start and ask you a little bit about what makes Tuck so distinct.
Yeah, awesome question. So I think it's a few things really. I mean, first of all, it's the size of our team actually. Tuck has a deliberately well-resourced advising team. And that's important. You know, I'd say we have the highest ratio of advisors to MBA students of all of our peers. That's important because that means we can get to know people. You know, everyone has a unique journey and we can get to know them and work with them through their 2 years at Tuck. Secondly, it's our alumni network. You know, it's the alumni who are at the companies who will pick up the phone when you reach out to them, who will bring the companies here and will help pull you in. And finally, it's our advisors ourselves. So we have an awesome team of advisors, many of whom are experts in the industry they come from, have worked in that space, some of whom are alumni who've gone through the journey as students. So for instance, you know, we've got Andy, who was a consultant at Bain. We've got Laura, who is our dedicated tech advisor who lives out on the West Coast, who's worked at a lot of those tech companies. So I think when you put all that together, we can really help students find the thing that's right for them.
And even in my time at Tuck, there have been very challenging years for placement for students. Even during those times, we've had incredibly strong results amongst all of the top schools. Tell me a little bit about why that is.
Yeah, I mean, we've been very pleased. I mean, take last year, for instance, you know, with COVID, etc. I was very pleased for our students. I mean, we had world-leading employment numbers, which is great for those students graduating out into the workforce. I think there's a couple of reasons. First of all, it is that alumni network. You know, we called on them, we said, hey, our students need your help. And they really rallied around and they sort of said, what can we do? How can we help? Secondly, it's our strong relationships with our recruiters. You know, of course you have all the big companies, all the big names who want to hire MBAs. We have all of those. And in addition, it's so many smaller companies, startups, earlier stage. And what I love seeing is I love hearing from my team when I hear, oh, Company X, they really want a Tuckie. You know, they really want someone from Tuck. They know the institution, they know the students and what they can bring. So you put those two together, and plus the quality of our student body, because obviously we have what the market's looking for, and you do get very strong employment outcomes.
And thinking about that student body, talking to applicants before they are students, many will talk about the desire to pivot their career, pivot their job, change their industry, so many things that they hope to change with the opportunity in the MBA. What advice would you give for MBAs who are thinking about pivoting their career?
Sure. I mean, first of all, I'd say don't worry. Actually, almost everyone who comes to Tuck is a career switcher by definition. You know, if you've got the job that you love, why would you give it up and come to do an MBA? So many people actually are coming to make a change, or maybe within their industry or their company, they're looking to make a change, you know, upwards. And so first of all, you're not alone. You know, you'll have 280 or so of your closest friends will be in the same boat. Secondly, recruiters know that. You know, recruiters are coming to find people who are smart, driven, you know, all the great qualities we look for, who they can then train in these new positions. And then finally, I think there will be time. There will be resources. You can work with us, you will learn from us, you'll learn from your classmates, and you'll learn from all of the companies that come. So you will have that time to learn, you know, what are the other jobs out there, and then work with us to operationalize that. So yeah, don't worry, everyone's doing it and it works.
And what can people do now to prepare? So for applicants and admitted students who are thinking about this big change, what would they do now to prepare for the career services that journey that they will be on during their MBA?
A couple of messages. I mean, first of all, one is you don't need to do anything. So, you know, if you want to arrive at Tuck and start that journey, that's okay. You know, we've got you covered. But if you are anxious to sort of get going and you want to start learning, there's a number of things. First of all, a lot of companies will post on our website opportunities for you to get involved with them and to interact with them and get to know them. So look for those, keep an eye on those. Secondly, maybe talk to people, talk to people in your own network, family and friends, and maybe even start reaching out to some Tuck alumni through LinkedIn to say, hey, I'm going to Tuck, I think I might be interested in job X, can I have a chat with you? And then finally, we'll be reaching out to you. We actually do a tremendous amount of optional programming throughout the summer, and we'll have a one-on-one conversation with you. We'll run many, many classes. So if you want to and you have the bandwidth, there's a chance to really educate yourself about what's out there so that you can really hit the ground running when you get here.
I've often gotten the question from applicants admitted students getting ready to come to the MBA program about the pre-MBA internship. For someone who's doing a big career pivot, do you think that that is a critical step to leave one job, take the pre-MBA internship, and then is that something that allows them to really hit the ground running? Is it needed?
Certainly not needed. It really depends. I think the pre-MBA internship is still a very niche thing. It's not a thing that most people are doing. It's not a thing that most companies are offering. So for sure, if you want to go to a certain place and you've got a friend or a family member or a contact who can say to you, hey, I can help you get that experience for the summer, awesome. That's part of the learning journey, but don't feel that it's a thing that everyone's doing that you need to be plugging into.
And are there trends that you're seeing with MBA careers? Or things you may see on the horizon?
Interestingly, I think the things that students want are reasonably stable, actually. We did some analysis recently and we looked at what students want when they get here compared to what students are getting when they leave, and that's staying relatively in sync. What we do see from companies, even before COVID, we saw a move to more virtual events. So particularly if I'm a big tech company based on the West Coast, and this isn't just with Tuck, across all schools, they were already planning to move to more virtual events, perhaps virtual interviews. And if you think about it, that's awesome for us. That means we can be pulling in people from even further afield, from around the globe, and it means you don't have to get on a plane to go and visit that alum or that company anymore. So that, I think, is probably the biggest shift. But the great thing is we keep learning, we keep our eyes on what's going on, and we keep flexing.
And is there one thing that you would like applicants or admitted students to know about career services at Tuck, or to know about Tuck in general?
Gosh, to distill it down to one thing would be impossible. It's such a life-changing experience for everyone who comes here. I think for me it would be this idea of, do you want to go somewhere where you're going to have an advisor who you can drop by their office, email, meet in person, who's actually going to know who you are? And not everyone needs that, but if you feel like for your journey, you would value that personal relationship, then I would really say, look at all of the schools, look at the way they do career services. I honestly believe, there's no one who does it better than us. We love what we do, and as I said, we're very well resourced to do it. So yeah, look into that.
And as a personal question, Stephen, as someone who you graduated from Tuck many years ago, thinking back to that time and your career journey from Tuck, can you think about something that you took away from your time as a student that was critical to your first career step from Tuck?
Yeah, gosh. So, again, so many things. I went to be a consultant at McKinsey where everyone was super smart, everyone was super hardworking. They'd all come from great great MBA programs. The thing that actually struck me though was whenever I'd meet a new bunch of people, I'd ask them, oh, where did you go? And they'd be like, oh, school A, school B. And then when they'd ask me, and I'd be like, oh my God, I just came from Tuck, and I'd just talk for like 5 minutes and they couldn't shut me up. So that sort of, I just brought that passion about, where I'd come from. It's, did it help me in my job? I don't know, but it certainly has helped me as a person.
It's so true. It's easy to get someone to start talking about Tuck. It's always very hard to get them to stop talking about Tuck.
The only time I had that experience reversed was when I was talking to somebody and we did a game where you weren't allowed to talk in return, you just had to listen. So I was describing Tuck and he was like, and it turned out he was a Dartmouth alum. So, he'd got to spend 4 years here, so he was even luckier.
The connections.
Yes.
Well, I'm so glad that you decided to return to Tuck after your time at McKinsey to work with our students and help them along the career journey. So thank you.
Thanks.